right, guys, welcome to VIP Pre-Market Prep. It's Tuesday, May 23rd, 9 a.m. We'll have Vegas here at 9:15 a.m. Tomorrow, we have Tuttle Trades is back. He was on away on the vacation last week. He'll be back Wednesdays. It's going to shift from 10:30 a.m. to noon. So 12 p.m. every Wednesday, we'll have Tuttle Trades. And then we'll have Rex back, maybe, I think, Thursday at noon. I'll verify what time that is, but should be Thursday. Okay, let's see what we got going on. We see markets pulling back a little bit. RK, the story to me, I was on Wolf Spaces, by the way, last night, where we won the competition for the week, like by a huge margin with KODK and with AUGX. All right, and I'll tell you what I picked for this week. But I was on Wolf Spaces last night, listening to Bloomberg this morning, taking everything in. And listen, I just want to say QQQ is in this kind of breakout mode, and we're watching RK very carefully. RK, again, has to close above that 50-week moving average by the end of the week. We're above it now, and it's very tempting to say, hey, we broke out, right? But this has happened to me. I've made this mistake many times, even on a daily chart. When you're looking at the daily moving averages and intraday you break above it, doesn't matter. Depends where you close on the daily moving averages. On the weekly, depends where you close at the end of the week. Here you can see there was a fake out on January 30th where we thought, oh my God, green light, we're above the 50-week moving average. And if you did that, you'd be buying at the peak. So it's very tempting to say RK broke out. And I've been kind of saying that. I was like, risk on, right? But we got to check ourselves a little bit and make sure we close RK above the 50-week moving average. If that happens, I do think it's risk on. And I say that in an environment where I'm still macroeconomically bearish, right? And QQQ, by the way, and I still say that in a dynamic where I believe you want to short the QQQ when the debt ceiling agreement is reached. Okay, that's been the historic pattern. And functionally, I'm starting to understand why that happens. It has something to do with new bond issuance. And maybe when there's new bond issuance, I guess there's maybe some people can't buy bonds. Maybe institutions, they want to buy bonds. They can't. There's no new bond issuances. So they put the money in stocks. But when they raise the debt limit, they issue new bonds and maybe the money flows into the bonds, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in all that. But in any case, all right, so I'm still macroeconomically bearish. I think what we're seeing with QQQ is maybe an AI bubble of sorts, okay? Maybe that's what it is. An AI bubble led by this big cap tech. But these technicals tell me that there's a chance. We want to hold here, by the way, 334. 334.42. If we hold above 334.42, which is your support now, we're still in line for like 52-week highs. So this sounds all very confusing and contradictory, right? It's like QQQ is poised to shoot higher. Microsoft, Google, all those big cap megatechs are poised to go to new all-time highs. Yet at the same time, I think it's an opportunity to short the market if we get that debt ceiling deal. And I also think that it's could be a type of bubble. And I also think, if that bubble crashes, maybe RK keeps going up. So there's a lot of things that seem counterintuitive, but I think it's all possible. And the last thing I want to say is macroeconomically, I was listening to Bloomberg. I'm not sold on this at all. I really think it's very narrow participation. I did say that, didn't I? Macroeconomically. We saw a bunch of earnings. We're seeing a pattern where Q1 earnings are beating, but full year is not going as much up as a Q1 beat, and or they're just reaffirming full year. We've seen this, and I'll go through the list in a second. It's like stock after stock after stock is doing that, which is implying that after Q1, we're seeing a slowdown in the economy. So keep that in mind. Okay, no. Then the last thing I wanted to mention is this, though. In the COVID crash where I did very well, I was shorting the market when the markets were flying and China was under lockdown, like heavy. I was like 50, 70% of my portfolio was like in QQQ and SPY puts. It was crazy. And it worked out very well for me. But I didn't catch the bottom, right? Because I was still macroeconomically bearish. We're in the middle of lockdown. I'm thinking we're going to crash more. This is like the Great Depression, right? And then the technicals changed. And we ended up breaking key moving averages to the upside. So I capitulated. I threw the towel in, still made a lot of money. But I capitulated based on technicals. And that's, as a story trader, we're looking at all the pillars. So we can't just rely on our thesis of the macroeconomics. We looked at the technicals and, hey, this broke out to the upside. I'm throwing in the towel and now I'm going long. Many months later that I understood why the stock market bottomed and I understood the impact of the Fed liquidity injection. I've never went through that before. I didn't understand what was happening in real time then. So it's possible, and this is why it's so important to look at the technicals of the QQQ and ARKK and, you know, see if that ARKK breaks out, or maybe the ARKK, maybe QQQ doesn't break down after a debt ceiling. I think it will, but that might be just a correction. It's important to look at the technicals because it only might be after the fact, in retrospect, that we understand the macroeconomics of, for example, if it happens, of why the stock market bottomed in the middle of 2023 when we had the gigantic debt situation, we have a looming recession, we have de-dollarization concerns, we have all this stuff going on, yet the market bottomed. We may not be able to understand it now, but we can understand it in retrospect. And that's why it's important to also respect the technicals when you're breaking key moving averages. And that's why I have this kind of different view on ARKK versus QQQ, because ARKK is on the cusp of a major technical breakout, and I'm going to respect it. And I might not understand why ARKK is breaking above the 50-week moving average while QQQ is correcting after a big debt ceiling correction. You can come up with different theses why that might happen. All right. But you got to respect technicals when it comes to major key moving averages. So I'm looking at the dynamics of all of this, and we got to be careful with ARKK because it's intra-week above a key break, but we have to see where it closes the week. It's actually a very, very dangerous place to be. If you put all your bets on, we broke this ARKK to the upside, risk on, you may end up buying at the highs. All right. So you got to be very careful this week. All right. By the way, I missed the story yesterday that PACW raised some money and that thing exploded. Too bad. So sad. Missed it. All right. Now you have the 50-week moving average here at 880. Can't catch everything. And the banks, they're kind of unpredictable. So I'm not really playing those banks anyway. All right. Let's move on. I just do want to mention Bitcoin's been lagging ARKK. It's up today. Something to watch, but Bitcoin's also crazy. I'm not betting on that. So let's go to the stocks this morning. The one that I think has the strongest thesis in the near term right now is going to be a Palantir. Palantir is one of these AI stocks, obviously, that you know, and it has all the pillars going for it. It's got the fundamentals, multiple quarters of profitability. Forecasting is this, that's going to be sustained profitability at this point. The AI demand. Now, last night, Kathy Ark's fund bought more Palantir stock, and this morning there was a press release on AI. CNA, I don't even know who they are, but this improved sentiment on the headline alone. CNA and Palantir developed AI model. It had something to do with retail. Actually, I did skim the article. Model to optimize the product purchasing and inventory restocking process. All right. So anyway, that headline will improve sentiment that, hey, this AI stock maybe hasn't roared enough. If you look at the chart, the 1-year chart, like a 5-year chart, this looks nothing like Google and Amazon and all these other stocks, and NVIDIA getting an AI tailwind. So maybe Palantir now with their flip to profitability and this AI thing this morning, AI headline this morning, and Kathy Wood's buying, maybe this can get an added push. So you got resistance here at yesterday's candle, or 2 days ago, $12.41. Your support at $11.39. Watch those levels for breakout and breakdown. And then I know Rex is looking for like mid-13s on this. I know Vegas is looking for like 20s longer term on Palantir. All right, so that's probably the top focus for the day. And I'm not sure I have too many other top focuses for the day. We'll just go through some stocks here. SOUN, AI stock as well, which appears like kind of very richly valued, similar valuation as AI. But anyway, it's curling up, and it's got resistance at 330, 335. Potentially, this could explode if it breaks 330, 335. I'm not playing it. Just wanted to let you know about it. RELL, one of our favorites in my account, in my personal account. A very safe stock in these crazy days. It's butting up against the 50 DMA with a very low RSI. If it breaks above this, so let's call it actually yesterday's high, 1831. If it breaks above and holds 1831, I think it's going to 20. You see that? This gap is just so easy and clear. So if it breaks 1831, make a move to 20. I love it. I love this so much. All right. If it breaks 1831. So RELL is on watch. All right. Tesla, again, this is very similar ARKK situation, but maybe a little cleaner, actually, because you broke the 50 DMA, and it looks like it's going to make a move to the 200 DMA. So this can maybe move to the 200 DMA without ARKK breaking out, possibly, because this is not really a breakout, right? This is just a move from the 50 to 200. It's a very, very common move. Although, did it not happen last time? That's not the 50. That's the 200 to the 50. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the weekly moving average. So it's above the 200 weekly moving average. Want to make the move to the 50 weekly. Oh, and the 50 daily to the, that's so funny. They're reversed and they're the same numbers. Very weird. Okay. But anyway, Tesla possibility will make it to about $200 there. All right, we had earnings on Zoom and Dix, and guess what? It was the same dynamics as Deere. We learned a lesson on Deere, where Deere had big beat on the headlines, but the full year guide went up less than the big beat in Q1, which implies a slowdown in the rest of the year. That's what happened with Deere. And and I'm seeing the same thing. I didn't look at the report in detail. All right, so that's probably why I'm not shorting it. All right, but just looking at the headline numbers in the guide, it's the same dynamic. If you have a big beat, if you beat in the quarter, you want to see the guide increased by at least the beat. And that didn't happen here on Zoom. And guess where else it didn't happen? It didn't happen with Dix either. So Dix also had a beat, right? But they also said guidance in line. So maybe that's why the stock stuck below this gap, which I guess happened when Foot Locker reported. Because Nike has been down, Foot Locker has been down. So I'm staying away from both Dix and Zoom because I didn't see the guidance being increased at least as much as the Q1 beat. And speaking, and Foot Locker may have been the culprit. Yeah, that gap down by Dix, I missed that, man. But Nike and Dix have been down sharply since Foot Locker, and we're still short this. I'm going to go with the 3-day rule on Foot Locker. The target was below 26, hopefully towards 25. But I like to, see, I've seen this pattern when you have very bottoms on the third day. That's the zenith. So maybe it's an opportunity to today look for an opportunity to close that short if you're in that with us. All right, let's see. Other news here. HTCR, I don't know it well, but it's a beat. It's a new company. I'm not in it. Actually, IR reached out to me. And I get IR contacts StoryTrading all the time, say they want to pitch their company to us. So I usually just ignore them. It's just too much, right? But they contacted me again last night. They're like, "Oh, you must have seen our beat. Here's the beat." And it was the stock was 170 at the time. And they're like, "Yeah, let's set up a call with the CEO." So okay, I'm going to talk to the CEO soon to see what they have to say. And if I like it, maybe we'll bring them to StoryTrading. But now I'm paying a little bit of attention. They had a beat. I don't know much about the company. And yeah, it's been surging. Maybe I should have listened to their IR department. But again, just too many days. I couldn't do it. But that's on my radar to catch up with management. Birds, man, I don't know. This is a fraudy type of stock. Thank you, Julian, for trying to open my eyes to the fact that they may be kind of fraudy and what's going on. But it's just constant insider buys. I know they're relatively small, hundreds of thousands. It's not 10,000. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Multiple insiders keep throwing at this nonstop at the same time when they are forecasting a flip to profitability, and this stock just keeps hitting new lows and new lows and new lows. It's just insane. But maybe Julian has pointed out to something that could be a little fraudy on this. So I got a very small position in Birds, and I'm hoping for a move to $3 at the 20 DMA and maybe closer to the 50 DMA. But as of now, the market is on to this management, and they're not buying what they're selling, both in terms of the guidance, flipping to profitability, and these insider buys. AVRO hasn't worked out. Listen, they got $2 a share in cash on this deal, and the math still works out. This is trading at a negative 88 million enterprise value right now, which seems like the risk to the downside is low. But it's a biotech, and they're burning cash, and they're burning a lot of cash. And even with this $88 million cash, it's just a coincidence that they got 88 million cash and the EV is negative 88 million. That's just a coincidence. Okay, so don't get confused there. But it's just, they're burning so much cash that this additional 88 million cash only takes them through Q4 2024, another, I don't know, 6-7 quarters, something like that. So the sentiment's poor here because I guess there are institutions out there, there are parties out there thinking that they're just going to burn through this cash. But I took a look, and they have 3 other programs. So they sold one of their programs. They have 3 other programs, and one of them is at the same stage at this one, which was just sold to Novartis for 88 million. They have another program in the same stage in the pipeline, right? I don't know. To me, it's too much. Okay, negative 88 million. I think the odds are on our side that it'll bounce back up. But obviously, discounted here. Didn't realize the very poor sentiment about the very high cash flow. There were higher hopes, apparently, that they would get more than 88 million, right? And there's a sentiment that this was their lead program. So they sold their lead program for 88 million and no milestones. And now they only have cash until Q4 next year. So that's part of the reason why shorts are leaning into this. But at negative 88 million EV, I'm willing to stick with it and see if we can make some money out of it. Because that's the story with AVRO. LILM had some news, and man, we got regrets on this because we called the inflection right here at like less than 50 cents when they raised money, and I just didn't work out. I've just been watching it go up and go up and go up. So $1.40, 200 DMA. There was a little bit of news this morning. Maybe it goes there. I'm not chasing it. Maybe APRN will be our LILM. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. NVIDIA has earnings tomorrow. I don't know if it's before or after the close. I forgot about that. I think Yusuf told me, but I forgot. Anyway, NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. I'm not in it. Don't play earnings. PLAB earnings, I think, are Thursday. I'll be watching that closely. I really like that company. Not playing it. We'll see how they report. HIMS has had a pullback, so watching that pullback. But this chart's kind of in the middle of nowhere between these big key moving averages. So I'm not like RSI's 35, so I'm not inclined to jump on it yet. But watching HIMS closely. AUGX was, as I said, the winner of last week. AUGX and KODK. And any move towards 350, I think, could be a buying opportunity in this AI stock on AUGX. All right, VTSI, I like this now to the mid-8s. It broke a key level in the 760s. And you can, if you pull up like a 5-year chart, you can kind of see these 860 levels. It's in between that spike, like right here and right here. And you can see 760 was right here. You can see this is all candle analysis. You don't need lines or anything. So breaks to 760. Next target, 860. That's VTSI. All right. KODK, I love the technicals here. And not only technicals, the price action, just smooth and steady, little incremental buying. All right. And up every day through all the key moving averages above the 50-week moving. I made this with top pick again 2 weeks in a row, even though it surged so much. This is our top pick at Wolf Financial Spaces. Hopefully it'll help us win again. But I'm looking at the 200-week moving average at about 530 as a target on KODK. I know it sounds crazy, but they had a big flip to profitability, and the company's very cheap. They have a lot of assets trading at a fraction of their EV to revenue. Talk is another one. This is the second one I put in for the trade of the week. Now it's moving already. It really didn't want it to move this early because I want more. But Talk appears to be breaking out above the 200-day moving average. So actually Talk and KODK were the 2 picks I gave Wolf Financial Spaces to try to win the competition tomorrow. About $1.25 is what I'm seeing here as a technical target. If you go to the year chart, you can kind of see right there where it broke down and had that big. That's how you identify. Where do you have a big red candle, and where was it the day before? 125. Okay, so that's the target on Talk. Okay. DRIO, let's see. If this ARKK breakout continues, then the target's 450. And don't forget, Aetna's launching July 1st. It's May 23rd. We haven't seen the press release out of Aetna yet. So I imagine that's coming sometime in the next few weeks. So I like this first swing, holding for that news and getting an exit at 450 or higher on DRIO. All right. LAZR been crazy. Wow. I mean, the short position, 30%, trying to make a move to that 200-day moving average at 727. I like selling the puts here more than anything else because very, very high premiums. And I think with the large insider buying, you can kind of make a bet that maybe that 20 DMA will be your support at 618. So instead of buying it at 7, hoping to get another 30 cents, you could just say, I'm willing to buy it at 6. And you get an annualized yield of like 70, 80% for that. All right. So I think that's a better play on LAZR. We're holding for APRN has a annual meeting tomorrow with a reverse split vote. This is kind of like a shelf reverse split. Not that they're going to do it, but just so they can do it sometime in the next 12 months. I don't think they will do it right away. I think they're going to wait for this deal to close on June 9th and see what happens with the stock. And maybe they won't have to do the reverse split. So let's see. So 2 dates to look out for tomorrow and then June 9th on APRN. I want to point out I can't see the chart in ZVRA, but Chris, I think it was Chris Tarbert. Yeah, Chris Tarbert's been telling us about ZVRA, and that's been ZVRA. That's included in the Russell 2K. It's been doing pretty good. NVTS, we became aware of this because of RELL, and man, did I miss this. This is a silicon carbide and gallium nitride and kind of airy type of stock. Same sector as air. And I don't know if they do testing. I'm not sure exactly what they do. But I put this on my watch list, and I never did anything with it. They got included in the Russell 2000, and this thing's just been exploding since earnings. It looks really expensive superficially. So to buy that one, you'd have to do a lot of research and know exactly why that's happening and what's going on there. What is going on with PERI this morning? They get a downgrade. That's a big move on a lot of shares. Ouch, ouch. That is a sharp down move. I don't know what's... Oh, there we go. Short report on PERI. Spruce Point. So we'd like to take a look at that Spruce Point short report and listen to what they have to say on PERI. That's not fun because I'm in PERI. Okay. And with that, let's bring on Vegas for our next segment. Let's go.
Well, good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good morning. Well, I'm not happy to see a PERI short report. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, no, me neither. Because I like PERI report, so now I don't like this. I don't like this report. So
yeah, I have to look at it, sadly. All right. So what's going on with you?
Not much. I'm just not really seeing a lot of action this morning. I mean, I love the news on PLTR, though. I love that the Druckenmiller has a position. Then we had AI news.
Druckenmiller. Hold on.
PLTR.
You mentioned, can you tell me about I don't know about the Druckenmiller. I know about Kathy Woods and this AI thing this morning. What's Druckenmiller? Tell us about that.
Well, he took a stake in PLTR, so I just don't know the size, but he has taken a stake in PLTR. So
that came out last night.
Yesterday, yeah, I think yesterday, not last night. I think late afternoon.
Oh, late afternoon. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's good to know that he likes PLTR as well. So good to see. I know he's got like NVIDIA's his second largest, and his biggest is the CPNG stock, which is a former IPO. But now he's added PLTR. I just don't know the size, so I'll have to check that out. But he has. Oh, there it is. I found it. PLTR. I think he's added more. So looks like he had a position from before. I'm not sure. He's got 700,000 shares, but he looks like he's added more. So I'll have to take a look and see. Yeah, he's added more. 100 and I don't know.
All right. Well, that's like top.
Anyways, that's just the thing is he's got some. Regardless, that's not why I'm in it. We were already in it before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's the AI news now, the AI angle, some news. So that looks good. So looking for continuation on PLTR. We still need to break here this $12 range. Still looking for this to go to 14. So that's like the next realistic target. Not today, 14, but maybe in the next week or two. Watching also, Microsoft got an upgrade as well. So looking for Microsoft to break 322.01 and really liking AMD if it can get over 108.45. And Coin has been going really strong. Same with RIOT and Mara. So gotta watch Coin.
I noticed RIOT and Mara, and it's interesting that they've been doing well without Bitcoin pumping. Any thoughts on why that's happening?
No, but something to still watch. So we definitely have to watch Coin if it can get over 61.37. There's some pretty good room here to like $64. So really liking those ones. Amazon, still like Amazon. Looks good here to 118. So I would say Microsoft, Amazon, Coin, AMD. AMD looks good too. But I'd like to see AMD over 108.50. So if it can break 108.50. AMD has a pretty good move towards like 110, 111. Okay. So I'm watching. Nothing like super exciting so far.
HTCR just keeps running. Unbelievable. Okay. So in any case, I'm with you on Palantir. I think that's where we have the most overlap this morning. I was actually my top pick on the show today. So let's hope Palantir has a great day.
Okay, good. What about IONQ? Have you seen that one?
What's the ticker symbol?
IONQ.
Never heard of it. Is that another one of these up 80% in pre-market type of things?
Well, this one here is this one apparently this one's went up quite a lot in the last 2 weeks, but this one it's a momentum mover. So one to watch. It's had a pretty good move. Someone mentioned it to me, and I have to research it, but it has had quite a move. So
not familiar with it. All right, so we got a short watch list today.
This is one to watch. This is doubled in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, it's doubled. I'll have
to
research and see what's going on. All right.
Let's hope Palantir takes off for us. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye bye.